We're back with Tomb Kings versus Skaven, Calamity versus Hamster Berserker. Hamster Berserker's build is trash garbage. Trash. Never want to see it again on my screen. Garbage. You know why? Because it has Throt. And Throt is a big dumb poo-poo head. I hate him. So let's see how this goes. The build's fine. I actually see what it's going for, memes aside. 3 Doomflayers. Doomflayers are very, very strong versus Tomb Kings because they lack good melee armor piercing to take those guys out, besides Cetra and the Big Cat, or the Necrosphinx ROR, or Ushapti melee, all of which are kind of risky in this matchup for various reasons. So, yeah, Doomflayers are very, very strong. Then we have 5 Warp Fire Throwers, Clan Rat Spears, Rat Ogres, and then we have Throt the Unclean, an Action Sorcerer, and a Plague Priest. Plague Priest has Plague Monk summons, Action Sorcerer has Brittle Bone, and then Throt has his Rat Ogre summon and Creature Killer. Creature Killer is garbage now. I don't know why they nerfed it, but they took away the Immune to Psychology aura it gave, and now it's just 16 bonus versus large, which is not very good. Throt is on foot, too. The Warp Fire Throwers, I see what they're here for. They are strong versus Tomb King's front lines. If you're not going to take Plague Monks to really beat those guys in melee, Warp Fire Throwers can actually do a lot of damage to Tomb Kings. Fire damage good versus them, and then just really strong weapon strength, burnt leadership debuff, all that's fine. 5 of them seems excessive, but I get it. I don't think it's great, but it's funny. On the other side, we have Cetra the Imperishable with Incantation of Vengeance, and then the Blessed Blade item. Frontline of Skeleton Warriors, backed up by Nehekara Horsemen, 3 Screaming Skull Catapults, and then a bunch of Skirmish Cav in the backfield, Skeleton Horse Archers, and Skeleton Horsemen. Not the Nehekara Horsemen, so these are the very light Cav. Rat Ogre Summon is already out for Throt as he was trying to lock down Cetra. It does not work, and instead Nehekara Horsemen are going to do some peeling for their King of Khemri. 4 Fire Throwers are in range. 1 wanders into melee range, that's a bit of a whoopsie, but the other ones are firing away, doing good damage to the Nehekara Horsemen and the Skeleton Spears of the front line. But their own Clan Rats are now in the way of them being able to fire, and they're getting flanked by Skeleton Horsemen. So Warp Fire Throwers, there's a reason you don't see them very often. I do like them occasionally in certain builds, but usually versus low leadership factions, not necessarily undead. And if the undead, you take like 1 or 2. You don't need this many, just because you have such a hard time firing. Clearing out a Nehekara Horseman is good. Getting attacked by Skeleton Horsemen is less good. 70 armor should protect them in theory, but 24 melee defense actually is pretty solid, but I guess they got charged. Frontline fight's going okay for the Skaven. They are slowly trying to push through those undead. The problem is the Scream Skull Catapults firing down the side is lowering their leadership so much that they are just terror routing at near full HP, as you can see. Cetra is going to get away from Throt and the boys. Doomflayer is starting to take a lot of damage. The ones that are sitting in spears having a harder time because they're locked down by Nehekara Horsemen. They do want to, I mean, they're chariots. They want to stay mobile. Sure, they're heavily armored, but still, spears are spears, chariots are chariots. They don't like to just sit in infantry and grind it out usually. So it's a pretty rough time for the Skaven. Their Doomflayers taking more damage than they would have wanted. Their Warp Fire Throwers barely got to shoot at all. Hard stuff. Bounce power is not that far against the Skaven yet, though I am getting suspicious. That's a Plague Monk summon, so routing doesn't really matter that much. But the main point for the Skaven I'm worried about is how much stuff is routing. As we know, when the Skaven rout, it's easy to chase them down with Horsemen, obviously, but even if you don't chase them down, they will be coming back at greatly reduced leadership and have a hard time really staying in the fight. Plague Claws, so far, all 3 still online, but Doomflayers are rallying right next to those Plague Claws, and an Eshin Sorcerer is trying to disrupt one, so those might get shut down soon. That could be a boon for the Skaven's balance of power woes, is 3 pretty healthy Scream Skull Catapults with high ammunition getting knocked out of the game could help them stay in this, army losses-wise, but I'm struggling to see what they're going to do to win the game. There's a lot of Skirmish Cav. Hi, kitty. There's a lot of Skirmish Cabs still around. Decent amount of ammunition, really high health that they can shoot and chase down any Skaven units that are out. My cat has joined us. You're now getting the one-handed casting experience while he gets chin rubs with the other hand. Yes, my good kitty. You're so nice. You can see on the right-hand side, one of the Scream Skull Catapults is about toast. Another one in the middle is also dying, and we only have one healthy one continuing to fight on the far left side. The balance power is getting better for the Skaven as that is happening. And a little miss micro here from the Tomb Kings. Honestly, anything the Skaven have that routes should not be allowed to come back at all. That is a mistake. When they have this much of a mobility advantage, letting anything return to the fight is just a mistake. Like, not trying to be a dick, but calls it as I sees it. This should not be allowed. Last Plague Claw is starting to crumble. And honestly, artillery teams have such low leadership for the Tomb Kings that at that health point, I don't think they rally. I think even if this game leave them alone for the rest of the game, they're just going to crumble away. Tomb King's Summon of Ushapti is coming out late in the hour. But they saved it for an important moment. And Cetra getting kind of wrapped up here by Doomflayers and Rat Ogres while Throt is poking away at him with Creature Killer active is a pretty good time to summon some bodyguards and get the King of Khemri out of here. Ushapti are just going to form a wall, push everybody, except for apparently a very bold Plague Priest away. You have 43 speed. How are you so slow? Oh, Brittle Bone. Okay, Brittle Bone and poison and stuff. Gotcha. So Cetra is actually very slow. Skaven are chasing him down. I'm going to get a little shot or two in here, but he's still pretty healthy. Like, his percentage is low, but his actual HP is still pretty high, 3,500. It's not like the Eshin Sorcerer is going to be able to one-shot or anything. And now those Eshin units are surrounded in random skeletons. Ushapti summon clears out the Rat Ogres and Doom Flayers from before. Balance of power is back to right around 50-50 as we have more Clan Rats and Doom Flayers rallying to the fight. Most of the balance power difference, though, is the Skaven's triple hero core being all like full HP and Cetra being nearly dead. Which is getting a little concerning, because Cetra is most of your damage versus those guys, as my voice cracks, apparently. But I mean, like, we have skeleton horse archers with almost no ammunition. We have some skeleton warriors here and there, but Cetra's really the big damage for those three heroes. So depending if our Plague Priest has another Plague Monk summon, I would probably save up your Winds of Magic for that if the Skaven even have that much left, though, because Brittle Bone's also pretty expensive, so I don't know how much of their stuff they burned. But a Plague Monk to kill that full health Skeleton Warrior could be huge in determining the outcome of this game, just because the Skeleton Warrior is actually one of the best things left to kill Throt in them. Minus Cetra, but Cetra has to be careful with his HP bar. Skeleton Horse Archers have less DPS than those Sword Infantry do, and Throt's pretty good at knocking them out. Cetra's going to try and pick off the Eshin Sorcerer, who is separated. There we go, tear out into a real route. Again, the Tomb King should not be letting those guys come back at all. You hate to lose a healthy hero for this Skaven, of course, but that is their least important one. Plague Priest's ability to get Contaminated debuff out, maybe getting these Undead crumble faster, and plus I think his Plague Monk summon is the only thing the Skaven can do to win the game at this point. So got rid of the less important caster, honestly. Of course, Throt's very important. He's your Lord, he's your anti-large armor piercing damage, he's got regen, and dying would be pretty bad. Incantation of Vengeance out onto the Plague Priest, just trying to get damage onto the targets. It's not that good of a spell versus single entities, but damage is damage at this point in the game. And there is the Plague Monk summon out for the Skaven. And really, the Plague Monks just need to fight anything they can get their grubby little swords and paws on. No way they're gonna rout. Oh, Cetra gets a brutal charge through them and gets them very close to honestly terror routing, because Creature Killer does not give ITP anymore. Why? And the Plague Monks instantly terror out because Creature Killer is trash now. That's hilarious. So Cetra's collision attacks plus Creature Killer nerfs just means they die instantly. And the nerfs, they were a long time ago. I'm not trying to say this is new information, but it's just we don't see a lot of Throt, so I thought I'd talk about it. Plague Priest is two-shot by Cetra and pushed away. Dang, he had 3 attacks in a row. Shatters that guy, bounce power shifted pretty far against the Skaven, and I think they're doomed at this point. Throt is just gonna grind through a bunch of Skeleton Horsemen as Cetra cycle charges him. Throt's also not ITP, so he could terror out as well. The Eshin Sorcerer came back somehow, and Cetra just went and took him out. Cetra's in. Throt's down to half HP. He is regenerating, but slowly. And the terror out will take his little ratty soul. Hamster Berserker with a very Chad build. But it didn't work out for him. Doom Flayers took more damage than he wanted, just sitting on spears, and Warp Fire Throwers, as we can see, most of them got knocked out before firing a single shot. The 2 that didn't even pay for half themselves, so that's 2,500 gold down the drain for the Skaven, unfortunately. Doom Flayers did a lot of work. Jeez. Calamity, Cetra did fine. He did his job. Skeleton Horsemen did fine. They did their jobs. Car Horsemen honestly got kind of punked by the Doom Flayers overall. Skeleton Wars Archers did pretty well. And the Scream Skull Catapults, not a lot of value, but they did tear out the Skaven quite a few times. GG. Roar. Subscribe, yes, yes.